All right, well, here we are for day 2. We're going to work on cosecant and secant graphs today, so let's get started right away. Graph paper, pencil, pen, and ruler. Hopefully that's what you have ready. Here we go. Number 1, y equals cosecant of theta. We're going to put a 2 in front of that so that we change our amplitude a little bit. All right, so anyways, here we go. Amplitude, remember, for cosecant is none. But we will be thinking about cosecant being the reciprocal of sine. So sine's amplitude here is going to be 2. All right, so we've got our amplitude taken care of. Next, we want to look at our period. Period is going to be 360, the original period of sine. We'll divide it by 1, the number in front of the angle. There's just a 1 in front of there. And that's still 360. We'll have points every 90 degrees. As far as our phase shift goes here, there's nothing in the back, so there will be no phase shift on this one. All right, so on this graph, I am going to do it every 22.5 degrees on this one. You really could do any of the scaling that I've shown you. It won't really matter which one you decide to use here. But I'm going to go by 22.5. It's a pretty basic graph here. I'm going to see if that works. So 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, or sorry, y-axis, -1, -2, -3 here. Again, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and the next number is 90. 1, 2, 3, 180. 1, 2, 3, 270. 1, 2, 3, 360. Going backwards, 1, 2, 3, -90. 1, 2, 3, -180. 1, 2, 3, -270. And I'm going to run out of room here, unfortunately, for the 360. But you're going to see the majority of the graph and be able to make it all work on yours. Try to find that middle a little better than I did, and that'll help space out the 360s right. Okay, so anyways, for cosecant, you graph sine, which sine starts in the middle. This is with your pencil now. And points every 90, we're going to go high, back to middle, down to low, back to middle. Okay, now remember, the way I like to do this is I just like to do one section of the graph and then repeat the patterning. So in order to do cosecant, we're going to do the reciprocal. Well, anything that's a 0 is now going to become an asymptote. Okay, so we'll make an asymptote where that point was 0. This will also become an asymptote at 180. We had a 0 there. And 360 will have an asymptote. Okay. And now from here, this high point, remember, it's going to turn this way, and this low point here is going to turn this way. You can't cross over the x-axis again. And now just follow the pattern. It goes back 1, 2, 3, 4 to make a point. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to make a point. Oops, I shouldn't be high. I should be low here to follow the pattern. So again, I should be down at 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And then go 1, 2, 3, 4 again to make an asymptote. So asymptote at -180. And we should curl down. And then we'll go one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, but this one's going to be up to continue the pattern. And again, it's going to branch off this way. If you have a full graph here to 360, you're going to have another asymptote. Okay? Question number 1 taken care of. Okay, question number 2, another cosecant question. So question number 2 is going to be y equals cosecant of theta minus 45. All right, so again, on all these, the amplitude is none, but remember, you're thinking about sine, so sine's amplitude is going to be 1, okay, because we'll be going up 1. We'll be graphing sine in order to do this. All right, so now next we would need our period. Period is going to be 360 divided by 1 again, which is still 360, giving us points every 90. So points every 90. Remember, that's not really an answer to anything. It's just a graphing aid for us. And now we do have a phase shift on this one, so our phase shift is going to be theta minus 45 equals 0. We'll add over 45 to the other side, so theta is going to equal 45 degrees. So we'll be going right 45 degrees. All right, go ahead and set up a graph. With the numbers that I have, 45s and 360s and 90s, I'm going to try to go with the graph that goes by 45s on this one. So 1, 2, 3 going up, -1, -2, -3 going down. And if we go by 45s, it would be one line and then 90, one line and then 180, one line and then 270, one line and then 360. I don't really like to space them often like this, just because the more you try to kind of squeeze it in, the harder it is to always see. But we'll try it on this one and see what we get. I know some of you would like to save a little work, and okay, I understand. We'll try to make this work this way. All right, so the idea here is that we will graph sine, which sine starts in the middle, points every 90 degrees. So that means that we will be going up 1 to 90, 0 at 180, down at the bottom at 270, high at 360. All right, now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We've got to shift 45 to the left and do our whole asymptote thing. So what I would recommend that you do on something like this is do just the cosecant graph, then shift it. So still use pencil here. Know that this is going up like this, and then here is your asymptote where it's 0. So asymptote at 180, point at 90, branch going up, branch going down here at 270, another asymptote. Okay, and now what I would do is I would shift right 45 degrees, which is one line with your pen. Shift right 45 degrees with your asymptote. Shift right with a point. Shift right with your asymptote. Okay, and then I would draw that in where that branch is, and maybe start erasing a little bit because it's getting a tad confusing with all the pencil and pen on here. Okay. And now from here, this point is going to shift right 45. This asymptote, I know it goes off a little bit, but I'm still going to place it there, and my branch will go down. Okay, just like that. Double check, look at it. Again, if you need to, you can push pause, rewind, rewatch. Okay, if you're having trouble seeing this. Probably going to, when you come back to school, wish you could pause and rewind me in class. All right, so again, keep going. It looks like we're 2 off of the asymptote. Down here will be a branch that's going down. And then we go 2 more over and we have an asymptote. So there's going to be an asymptote in between -90 and -180. Branch going down. And then go over 1, 2, and that's where your point's going to be. Go over 2 more. You'll have the last asymptote I'm going to draw. And it goes that way. It's going to go off the graph at this point. You could go still over 1, 2 units here and make this part. And that should be good. Should look good. All right? So those are your cosecants. I'm going to come back with the next video and do the secants. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.